crazy weather going on around the country, and I know you mentioned the snow that's been hitting Texas is now creeping up to us.
Right. Everything that you just talked about, that's all connected. It's all one big system, essentially, with a low pressure system that is bringing that snow to Texas right now, and then a stationary front that stretches up through Missouri and Illinois where the flooding was, and on the southern end of it, of course, that's where the severe weather in Texas was as well. Now here we've been relatively quiet. In fact, we had a nice quiet day, no precipitation, certainly a good amount of cloud cover, but temperatures were well above average, 36 for the high, and our average is 27. So even our low has stayed above average so far, although that is also our current temperature. We're at 28 degrees right now. Wind chills are into the upper teens in Madison as winds are starting to pick up just a little bit now, although they will pick up a lot more by the time we reach tomorrow morning. Temperatures have fallen mainly below freezing. Janesville's right at 32. Elsewhere, though, we are into the 20s, in fact, lower 20s as you move back to the north and west. What's going to happen here is these temperatures are going to continue to fall into the middle 20s and then stabilize by tomorrow morning. At that point, we'll see that front that is bringing all those problems down to our south start to shift up to the north. Wind speeds are picking up just a little bit right now. They're up to 10 miles an hour and in some cases slightly above. But as I mentioned, what's going to happen is this front that is basically bringing all this rain to Missouri, Illinois, even back into Indiana and Ohio is going to start to lift to the north. As it does, that low down in Texas, which is bringing blizzard conditions to that area, is going to ride along that front and start to push everything up to the north. So by early tomorrow morning, we'll begin to see snow and sleet pushing into southern Wisconsin. That will then continue through the area as temperatures get a bit warmer during the afternoon. We may see some freezing rain mixing in there. That'll mainly be to the southeast of Madison. Up to the north and west, we'll continue to see snow and sleet. As we move then into Monday night, we'll continue to have slightly warmer air, especially down to the southeast. You can actually see some rain mixing in there in the southeastern corner of Wisconsin, but then more snow elsewhere. So the mix will kind of move out of the area. Instead, we'll see a rather sharp cutoff. And then during the day on Tuesday, we'll have more flurries and possibly some freezing drizzle as well. But the bulk of the precipitation will end by about midnight on Monday night. We have a winter storm warning as a result of this. It'll start at 9 o'clock from Madison, 2 points to the south, and at noon up to the north of Madison. But everybody is certainly going to get their fair share of this weather. And we'll also see very strong winds as that low, which is very powerful. Again, blizzard conditions in Texas, so very strong winds down there. As that moves up to the north, it'll lose a little bit of its steam, but it's still going to be strong enough to give us wind gusts into the mid-40s, maybe even hitting 50 miles an hour on Monday afternoon. Couple that with heavy snow or a little bit of ice, we could see some power outages as well as very difficult travel conditions through the day on Monday. Now, the good news here is that as we've looked at the system progressing, we've seen the ice amounts sort of lowering. So now we're down below 1/10 of an inch in most areas, and that'll be on top of some snow. So hopefully that'll keep the ice from being a really big problem tomorrow. But correspondingly, we've seen the snow and sleet totals rising. So we'll mainly be between about 3 and 6 inches. Could see some heavier amounts locally. This one has Wisconsin Dells at 9 inches. That seems a little bit high, but again, it could happen as we'll see much more snow and sleet now rather than that ice. So 25 degrees for the overnight low. Will be pretty dry through the night, but then by tomorrow morning the system moves in and it brings that mix along with it. So snow, freezing rain, sleet, all possible tomorrow. Very strong winds will be blowing that around. If you don't have to travel tomorrow, I would advise against it. 34 again on Tuesday, so once again we'll have chances of flurries as well as some freezing drizzle possibly during the day. Another chance of light snow or flurries on Wednesday. We'll see temperatures actually cooling back to slightly below average right at the end of the year and to start 2016. So both Thursday and Friday will be in the mid-20s. We'll be slightly warmer again next weekend, and we should stay dry through that period as well, as temperatures will be right near average, which is 27 degrees for next weekend. Saturday at 30.
That mix can be so nasty.
Right, and it really depends, and it's such a tough situation because when you're right on the freezing line, you can see just about anything. Now, at this point, the trend is to take the ice down to the south and east, so that's good news because we'd rather see the snow and sleet than certainly a lot of ice accumulation.
You got that right. All right, Bob, we'll keep an eye on it. Thanks so much. We'll come